U.S. Attorney, right? So here it goes. Response to the time before I can actually do it. Here it goes.
He's been here before, so there must, his name might be.
They dance. They pay me to talk. Sit down and shut up. Yeah. I love that.
Okay, Kester versus Kester, D07384243. Counselor, your name and bar number?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Chris Ford, 11570. I have Mr. Kester present.
Chantel Shipping on behalf of defendant Don Kester, bar number 8886, and Don is present as well.
Your Honor, we have a resolution, temporary resolution, if you'd like us to put it on the record.
No, let's keep it a secret. Go ahead,
Come on, it's after lunch. Give me
put it on the record.
Okay. So at this time, as far
What
as
is the issue first, and then what's the
I
resolution?
think the issue right now is we have Leilani, the oldest child, residing with my client. We have the two younger boys that are on kind of they're on the same schedule the parties have been exercising, not necessarily the schedule that's in the decree of divorce, but it's a joint physical custody schedule. Mom and Leilani are having some issues at this point, and we need to get to the bottom of what's going on with Leilani, what's going on with mom, and generally what's going on with Leilani in school and behavioral and everything else. So we want to come up with a goal, and I think we have, and we welcome your input, but a goal to have the relationship between mom and Leilani repaired, but also have Leilani progress in her academics, in her behavior, in some of her social decision-making. So the hope is that this plan of action will fix some of those issues. And I think, both parties can then also, through this plan, and I'll get to the plan, but can kind of work to co-parent so that there's some consistent, they may not be the same, but some consistent approaches to the issues that are arising in the children, because there's definitely conflict between the parents. And we don't know why or exactly what's causing that to manifest, if it's the issues with the kids necessarily, or just something independent to the parents. So we've tried to address that with some of these things that we have in place. With that being said, we're gonna have temporary primary custody of Leilani, vest with my client, the plaintiff.
Temporary primary physical custody.
Physical, yeah. The boys will remain on a joint physical custody schedule right now, with, my understanding is it's Monday after school to Thursday before school with dad, every week, and mom has the other days. We're gonna immediately work with the council will work together to come up with a therapist. It's quasi-reunification, but it's essentially to get at mom and Leilani's relationship, and fix whatever, is going on over there, but also help Leilani through whatever she's going through. So we'll pick a joint therapist that the parties agree on there, and dad's gonna be involved in that too.
So, let me stop you right there. What is the therapist supposed to be doing, trying to find out what the problem is, or trying with the child, or try to reunify mom with the child, or a combination of both?
It's essentially going to be a combination of both, where they're going to follow a recommended schedule by the therapist for mom's visitation, increased visitation with Leilani.
Well, to be fair, it is both. It's for the therapist to determine what the issues are between mom, Leilani, and if dad can help in any way, he'll be involved. It's also to determine the best way to reunify, if that is what's best, in the sense of how big that scope is, how much visitation that is, how fast that progresses. And the parties agree to listen to this therapist's recommendation, understanding if they disagree with the therapist's recommendation, Your Honor obviously has oversight in that regard.
Well, starting today, what kind of visitation does she have, the mother?
Well, council talked, and we think it's best for the therapy to start immediately. The goal being that it's Monday, choose a therapist this week that works with the insurances, and then have the therapist recommend that, because the last thing we want to do, and we have statements from Leilani right now, that if she's forced into that situation.
So the answer is no visitation?
The answer is no.
Until the therapist says so?
Yes. So.
I just want to make sure so we can get it in order, so, she doesn't say I was entitled to visitation when we're saying she's not entitled to visitation.
Yeah. And then on the therapist, What we're
Make
gonna
sure you put in the order that Leilani can go see the mom whenever she wants to, with the therapist's permission or without. If
Right.
for tomorrow she wants to go see mom, it's permitted.
Got it. What we're gonna do on payment for the therapist is, we're going to have, Dad has insurance through the operators union to the end of April. If he gets another job through the union, of course it'll extend, but as of right now, he doesn't have one, so it'll be through the end of April. He'll continue to provide the insurance for the kids through the operators union. Mom, though, will pay the copays and deductibles associated with the therapy for Leilani and herself. If Dad has individual sessions that he's attending in this therapy with Leilani and Mom, this quasi-reunification, Dad will pay his portion for those. For the boys, we are going to have them, they're having kind of a hard time with the transition and their sister not being present and kind of the different conflicts that are going on. We're going to have them do some, I think council had a good word for it, provisional therapy, in the sense of give them an outlet to talk to a therapist. Very likely it'll be the same therapist, so we have a cohesive family idea going on. Again, Dad's insurance will cover that, but Mom will cover the copays and deductibles. The hope is, and what usually happens is when Dad's insurance is up, just so everyone's aware, the children go on Medicaid. And so at that point, if there's a copay or deductible related to that, I don't think there is, but if there is, Mom will cover the children's portion only, for the boys and for herself and Leilani.
And let me just add to that,
Yeah.
that in the event there's a transition period between Dad's insurance and Medicaid, or if Medicaid does not cover the children for whatever reason, they don't qualify, there is a provisional program out there for the children to have limited number of sessions. I think it's 6 over a year with a therapist under Dawn's significant other's work plan. And that's the plan if there's a gap between Medicaid and Dad's insurance.
Okay.
Just so it's clear, the boys' therapy will also be at this therapist's discretion, in the sense of if she has sessions with them and deems them to be no longer in need of an outlet or to be in need of a therapist, she has the discretion to terminate that, again, with Your Honor having the oversight. We're gonna have Mom is gonna attend and complete anger management classes.
Can I speak with opposing counsel for a second?
Yeah.
She was for the overlapping anger management period.
The only concern, again, is if we can find a little time. So let's.
Yes, okay.
So the idea is Mom's gonna attend and complete an anger management class. She's also gonna attend and complete a parenting class. We've agreed that if there is an overlapping class, one that deals with parenting skills and anger management within those parenting skills, that would suffice. And she's going to provide, obviously, us with information regarding the class that she's going to attend and proof of completion. We're also going to have, both parties have agreed to go to.
She will attend the parenting classes,
She will, yeah.
and she will pay for it.
Those will be at her own expense, yes.
We're talking, I think it's an 8-week course.
I think so. If there's an overlap class, though, I know she's in a program, I hadn't heard of Boys Town. She has that coming to her home, and I'm happy to look into that. But I think we can work with council as far as what's going to be acceptable.
Is there a CPS case?
There's no open CPS case, no, everything was unsubstantiated through
Okay.
CPS.
But they recommended the boys.
They did recommend Boys Town. They recommended Boys Town for both parties, but that's not
Okay.
something we're agreeing to, so.
Okay. But we'll work with council. They're gonna provide us notice of what it is. Certainly, if there's no other option, it will be the standard 8-week parenting classes, I guess, and then an anger management class. If there's another option, we'll have.
And I think we might be on a different page here.
Okay.
I thought we were agreeing to an anger management class, and if there was an anger management co-parenting combination class to that, and then that both parents would take the UNLV class with Margaret Pickering, the cooperative parenting class.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But now you're saying also an additional 8-week parenting
No,
class?
what I'm saying is if there's not an overlap class, if we can't find a program that incorporates anger management and parenting skills, that's akin to this 8-week class, that's the kind of the standard class
We
we go
agreed
through.
that we were doing cooperative parenting and that was sufficient with the anger management class if there wasn't a co-op class.
No. The cooperative parenting is for them, the anger
Right.
management and the parenting would be for Dawn. I thought that's.
Anger management parent, okay.
What I understand is the 8-week course at the UNLV, they're both gonna go to that.
That's the Margaret Pickett class, they're
Right.
both going
They're
to-
both going to that, the cooperative parenting class.
And that's called co-parenting, but it also helps parenting, I guess.
Right.
Well,
Then
yeah,
that's
we
what I'm
also have
saying.
an issue, and without getting into the substance of it, there's an issue, a perceived issue on our side of the table, and the reason we're coming to this agreement is the parenting skills, and there's some anger issues between Leilani and mom, and we don't know where that's surfacing from, but certainly to address those, we're asking that mom go through some anger management sessions and additional parenting skills classes. And the position we were taking in what we were saying is, that would be independent of this cooperative parenting class. This would be something focused on mom, so she can gain some skills directly to deal with Leilani that don't rise to the level or don't require, anger or physical interaction between the daughter for discipline, so.
And when you say you don't agree to that?
Well, what I was saying was my understanding was they were both going to take the cooperative parenting class, which would have a portion of which addresses parenting issues with the individual parent, along with what is hopefully an anger management.
That's not included in that program.
No, not in that program, but in addition, she's
Okay.
taking an anger management class and hoping to have an anger management class that has a parenting.
Okay, well, right now, we're required, I guess there's an agreement, she'll do anger management, and then she'll do the 8-week course, the co-parenting class. And we'll leave it at that. Any other course, you can ask the therapist in a joint letter whether that's recommended or not, after the therapist gets involved. What other classes, including, parenting skills class.
That would be addressed through the therapist, you're saying?
But I think the anger management plus the co-parenting, I think will go a long way to hopefully resolve this.
Okay, we're in agreement with that.
Okay.
I think as far as the other issues, there's just some minor ones that mom will provide the minor child, Leilani, a substantial portion of her personal possessions, at least for now, while she's at dad's. The majority of those are still at mom's. We're gonna keep child support status quo. I know that was addressed in the motions, but for now, status quo. We've addressed the financials and how the medical stuff will be paid for in the therapy.
What is the child support right now?
Yeah, they're zero right now.
0 from each side? Okay.
We just asked for a 90-day status check. That gives time for all this to kind of unfold and progress, unless Your Honor thinks there's a different timeline that's better.
90 days seems like a good start, but who's gonna prepare the order?
I will.
Okay.
No, I'll have you.
Yes.
May 27 at 11 o'clock.
And how are we gonna pick the parenting coordinator? I mean, not the parenting, but the therapist?
What's that?
How are we gonna pick the therapist?
I think we're gonna work, I think council's already provided me a list of people that were prospectively covered under this supplemental plan, was that it?
Yes.
So we're gonna try to find someone that's not only covered under my client's plan, but it may be a stretch, but under the supplemental and Medicaid, so we don't have to have different therapists throughout the
Okay.
process. And our goal is to perfect that by the end of the week, certainly if it takes a little longer, but we don't wanna go any longer because certainly mom wants to start the process of reunification. So.
Okay, so I like an order in 2 weeks, and hopefully we can get the therapist on board within a week.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Thank you for the parents for cooperating, and continue to try to work in the best interest of all the children, and do what's in their best interest, not what you want, and so hopefully we'll try to resolve this and see what the issues are, and we'll let the therapist control that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.